I'm Corbett Wall with DV Auction, here with your feeder flash for Tuesday, December the 12th, where Christmas is looming already. I know we're not to the middle of the month yet, but it's hard to get any kind of a fire built under this market, either on fats or feeders or the board or anything, because everybody knows that the trade is just slowing and slowing down until it's going to come to a complete halt there up before Christmas time. But you look at the board on Monday, February live cattle down 37 cents to end the day at 118.30. January feeder cattle were actually up 22 cents to close out the day at 145.45. And you look at the weighted average on last week's fat cattle trade, which we had a little bit of cleanup sales, not a whole lot, but in the 5 area feeding region, 84,700 head, which is not a big movement, but might be enough for the packers as we're getting into the holiday slowdown. But live steers had a weighted average of 117.46, down $3.12. Dressed steers 187.06, down $2.85. And I mentioned we're going to have a lighter slaughter here going through the holiday season. We know that it's always going to happen, and the packers probably have enough cattle, but they will be attempting in the next week or so, probably starting this week, to secure cattle with days on them, which can get them started back up either through the holidays or right after the holidays are over. And actually we're going to skim through these holidays pretty good without too much of a slowdown, with your two major holidays, Christmas and New Year's Day, falling on a Monday. That's going to be kind of like just a Monday holiday there. And the packers and your employees kind of know how to handle those Monday holidays, since there's several of them that they do shut down completely for through the year, and should be able to move through that without a whole lot of slowdown like it would be if they say had the holidays on a Wednesday or Thursday or something like that. But you look at your box beef cutout values, and last week we had the rib primal cut posting an all-time record high for the fourth quarter for this time of year, which we know the rib's been selling really good. It's been dragging the rest of the carcass along because expecting really good sales through the Christmas holidays on big ribeye cuts there, and a lot of people are moving into doing something like that because it's a whole lot more impressive to serve guests, and it's more delicious, and instead of having turkey again after they had it for Thanksgiving. But a lot of people go to roasting a ribeye log, and that has really been pushing. So we posted all-time record high prices for the fourth quarter just last week, and that was 1 week after we posted a weekly record for beef production all time. So that shows that this beef market, the export market's been good, and our domestic beef demand has been really good too. But if you're posting record high prices right in the face of record high production, that bodes pretty well for the product that you have. You look at your feeder cattle markets, your real-time index on Beef Market Central, based on the 800-pound steer there, late Monday at 150.120. That's 20 cents lower than it ended the week last week. Just a little bit lower markets everywhere. But we're not seeing a whole lot of people come into the market late in the year here with a big tax problem. Certainly a lot of your farmers don't have big tax problems. They didn't have a good year in the grains. And I think there's enough expenses for your cattle feeding people that not your corporates, but your smaller outfits, that they don't really have a big need to build up cattle purchases. They can probably buy feed and have enough to set off things like that. But I wouldn't doubt, even though we're kind of going towards the end of the year here, kind of on a down note and kind of a lull here at the end of the year, I wouldn't doubt that we don't see this thing come back fairly strong right after the first of the year. There'll be a lot of big strings of cattle. These diversified farmers that have a cow-calf operation too, they didn't get done harvesting in time, and they just started weaning their calves about 30 days ago. And so to get a full 45 days wean on those, there'll be a lot of cold weather on those cattle. They'll have hair on their backs. They'll be just about as good as a yearling. and through the Midwest there'll be a lot of those cattle selling, and there's a lot of outfits that are looking to buy those cattle. Right now your feedlots are really full, but they like to keep cattle in production at every phase, and so by the time we get through the Christmas slowdown, they'll be ready to buy new cattle again, and we'll have moved a few cattle out the back end of their feed yard. But you look at some auction sales early in the week, high volume. Oklahoma National Stockyards in Oklahoma City at 7,700 head. Feeder steers there $2 to $8 lower. Feeder heifers $3 to $6 lower. That market there is totally dominated by corporate feeders, and you can tell that they're already starting to shut down for Christmas here. Now the calf deal wasn't as bad. A lot of order buyers still buying calves for guys putting background cattle together. But light steer calves, like weighing under 5, were steady to $7 higher. Heavier steer calves $3 lower, and all the heifer calves were steady to $3 higher. But there's been better demand for calves, even though you look out front down the way there, we don't see any big prices for feeder cattle, you know, going towards late in the winter and early in the spring. For those will be feeding type cattle by then. But it's just more time to put off selling those cattle, more options on the lighter cattle, and even though our feeder cattle are kind of down right now, people still want to stay in the cattle business. Joplin Regional Stockyards, 4,500 head there. And I just have to say how much I feel for the Joplin Regional Stockyard community there. They have suffered so much loss and have to be heartbroken right here in the holiday season. I can't imagine what they're going through. Christy Moore had an untimely death just a week or two ago, and then I've lost Dr. Harold Haskins, which was a vet around there forever. He worked the ring at Joplin forever. He was everybody's best friend and the greatest guy in the world. And I'm not sure how the folks around Joplin Regional Stockyards are handling this. I can't believe having that much loss all at one time, but I really feel for the Moore family, both Jackie and his boys, and it's got to be devastating for them. But you look at the market at Joplin Regional there on Monday, feeder cattle were steady to $2 lower, and just about like Oklahoma City, steer calves were steady to $5 higher, and had spots on those lighter weight steer calves as much as $10 higher, as guys still putting those things together to background. But you look at an individual quote on Monday, up north and west in McCook, Nebraska at Tri-State Livestock. They had a big sale on Monday, but late in the afternoon at 5:30 after dark, that 65 head of steers weighed 818 pounds at 156.75. And that's your feeder flash for Tuesday.